Right. Is everybody out there? So, this is Baker, and my show is What's the Crack, where we just have conversations and about beard stuff, about anything, basically. But it's all good. So this week I brought in a man that you guys might know, and we're bringing on here.
What's happening, Baker?
What's up, Tactical Santa? How are we doing?
Doing good, man. Living life, man.
Good. We got a little bit of a crowd. I'm going to shout out a little bit here. We had Bishop. I saw him.
What's up,
Uh,
brother?
Brewer is here. Ray Smokey.
Hey, Smokey.
Kay. I
Okay.
seen Born Bearded.
Dave, what's happening?
Yeah, and they're coming in good.
Yeah.
Nice. I know we're fighting up against another show,
Sure.
but it's the big guys, the Copper Johns. But I appreciate everybody that came in here. um, so Tactical Santa.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I know you've been to a couple of comps, and these are kind of just a couple of questions that I kind of ask.
Sure.
What was your first one?
It was in Dayton, Ohio. It was I believe it was called Zion.
Okay.
Kyle, I'm probably gonna mess up his name. Kyle Waller, I think, was
Oh,
running.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was Zion. It was the tattoo convention with
Yeah.
the beard competition. Yeah, that was my very first.
Yeah. Kyle's a good guy. He does
Yeah.
a show on mental awareness.
Yeah.
And stuff. But yeah, that's a good one.
Hmm.
So what is your next one that you're going to be going to?
So I'm gonna be going to the Appalachian Beard Mafia in Ghent, but I'm not. So I'm gonna go there. I'm not actually gonna enter the competition.
Okay.
I'm just going there. I'm kind of so here's my problem with entering competitions now. So last time I measured when I was at the Zion, I measured out at 14 inch, right?
Yeah.
So I get put in the big boy category,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't want to cut my beard down because I like it. I want to see how far I can let it grow, but
Yeah.
I'm not like a big dog in the big boy competition.
Yeah.
So if I'm there, I may enter it for fun, just pay the entrance fee
Yeah.
and I'll do it. I don't have any ideas of winning it, but I may. But Worlds, I don't know yet, but I'm going. Because my thing is, if I go to Worlds, I'm mostly there because I want to network and meet everybody,
Yeah.
right? So I'm
Yep.
like, I don't want to have to worry about getting ready or doing this or that. I just want to meet people and
Yeah.
socialize. So yeah,
And you'd be in a big category too, so
right,
it'd be a little bit harder. You'll be up on stage for a little bit longer and stuff like that. So
right,
um, I was planning on going again, but because of the situation with basically my company shutting down for 2 weeks,
right,
it's balls to the wall basically to say it
right,
right. So Saturdays are back on the table. So I I finally I messaged Chris Hall, and he's like, next year you're putting your vacation time in early.
right, right,
They can't
right,
do this to you.
right. You
Because
know,
that was my first one ever.
right.
My first one ever
Hmm.
that I went to.
Right,
And he's a great guy, and I love trying to show any love to him.
right.
Um,
I saw Chris Hall. It was about a month ago, month and a half ago in Ohio. At it was a bearded villains
yep,
thing.
yeah,
I was there. I went there. Yeah, I had a lot of fun there. I didn't enter the competition, but
yeah.
I had a lot of fun just showing up and meeting people. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bearded Villains. I went to. It was a meetup. Basically, it was down in Philly, and it was more than a meetup.
Right.
It was kind of like a comp. Like they
Okay.
had vendors there. They had
Uh,
all this stuff, and I was going there, and I thought it was just going to be, hey, let's meet the club and stuff like that. And
right.
they kind of keep to themselves. They're branching out a little bit more because they have a big showing. They really do
Right. Right.
across the United States, and I think overseas now too.
Right.
And it's hard to find any information on there, but they are finally accepting it, and I think they're kind of bringing it more in.
Right.
We
Right.
just had Elegant Sasquatch come in.
Happy
What's
Chris.
up, buddy? So now, what's a bucket list comp that you would like to go to?
So I don't know much about all the comps going
Yeah,
on. Worlds is so special to me. It's kind of bucket list because my fellow Trace Amigo and Monday Night Mayhem co-host Bearded Chief is going to compete, right?
yeah.
So it's one of my things where I'm going to go and support my brother, and
Hmm.
and since I guess Worlds is only here like every 2 years or every 4 years, and you never know where it's going to be.
Yeah,
And with it being in Pittsburgh, I mean, I think Pittsburgh is like a 5 or 6 hour drive away from me, so it's
yeah,
not like super far.
yeah,
I was like, I gotta go.
yeah.
I have to go to it. So yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go because you can see I'm growing my sides in,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I hate the way this looks right now. I hate it, and I like
Right,
having, and I was just like, yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I'm
right,
4.5, 5 hours away,
right,
and I just don't, think I may be able to see it again.
right.
It's just, and plus with everybody going to be there and all that
Right.
stuff, it's just like, yeah, I have to. I just have to go, and
Mhm.
I told you, like, my brother, Big Country, is going to be judging,
Yeah,
so I'm going there to support him a little bit and stuff. So,
right.
and then with the work closing, I was like, all right.
I'm going.
So
Right.
it was good. I talked to Born Bearded a bunch of
Mhm.
times, and I'm like, he's coming all the way from California.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and I'm gonna complain about a 4 or 5 hour drive.
Right, right. Exactly. Yeah,
30 spray, thank you, buddy. Yeah, this is great. I love this. It's just this is coming in gray, and it's just so light right now. I just don't like it.
right. That's all
But
right.
but
Nothing, a little bit of time won't
that's what I'm hoping. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm gonna see. I might not have the genes for it because of the fact that this started because I wanted to see with all the good product I'm doing. This is
right.
better and all that stuff. I wasn't using anything.
Mhm.
I was using shampoo that was in there. I mean,
Yeah,
so it's just curiosity now to
right,
see if this will grow in as nice as this does.
right.
But I don't know. It just you enjoy doing your beard, keeping it
Right.
nice and stuff, and
Exactly.
that's killing me. But yeah, Bishop, it would be great to get to 100, but I'm not worried about it. I'm here to enjoy everybody that does come in here. But yeah, please, if you would hit the like, subscribe. We're also, if there's any questions with Dino or myself, please, here's where you can catch Dino. And then, of course, you have the other shows, the Trace Amigo, and Monday Mayhem. Please, that's a great show, and you don't have to be involved in wrestling.
Right.
It just happened. They
Suplex.
enjoy having every conversation.
Right.
It's just, you just suplex syndicate.
Yep.
That was hard for me to say,
Uh,
but it's good. Just talking about that, like, yeah, I remember going to wrestling events. Our high school used to have it, and I used to have one of those promotional posters,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
was like Ivan Putski and
yeah,
Chief Jay
yeah.
Strongbow and stuff like that.
Right, right, right. Yeah, back in the golden days, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and it's one of those memories on the Saturday morning shows. I believe they were in the morning,
Yeah,
watching that and cartoons on our weekends and stuff.
right.
But so Tactical Santa, I got a little surprise for you.
Uh-oh. What up, Bishop?
What up, brother?
My brother, man, what's going on, man?
Not much. I had to show some love for Baker and for you. I watched,
Heck
man.
yeah.
I hit every live stream today.
Right.
I was trying to be the first one on the page, just because I had some offers. I just hit it. But I didn't realize how many shows were they.
Yeah.
So, and I told Baker, I was like, "Hey, man, let's do this. I want to surprise, Tactical Santa, and I want to support you. Because we're trying to get Baker out there, right? We're trying to get Baker better."
Yeah.
And I told him this, and you could probably testify to this. From the moment when Baker started into how he's going now, he's more relaxed, more talkative.
He is.
And I told him, I said, "Listen, Dino and Chief did it for me. I want to pass it around and do it to you because that's what we do,
Yeah, and that's what happened. You gotta got me out there, which was really good, Bishop. And all these other guys talking me up, like it just gave me more to kind of get in there,
Right. Listen, that's how it goes. So,
Well,
so how you doing, Dino?
I got to say something, because I am the tactical Santa, right? And I am always styling and profiling. I am kissing babies, saving ladies, teaching classes, kicking asses, and moving masses. And the tactical Santa says, if you ain't subscribed to Baker, what's wrong with you? But you want to know what? The SPAC talker, Slay Walker, is saying, Santa says so. And that's the bottom line. So click that subscribe button, hit
like.
that like button, and let's get this guy up to the top.
That's right.
That's
right.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you. That is
how
awesome.
you remember all that stuff, man?
So the funny part is wrestling's been a part of my life for a long time.
Right.
I'm pretty sure if you guys have been seeing all the content I've been putting out lately, there are probably 3 or 4 wrestlers that really have influenced me, and you can kind of tell it in my style now. I was talking to Baker backstage, about how I've kind of shifted gears, right? So I don't really consider myself a hardcore beard product reviewer anymore. When I post stuff on Facebook or real stuff, I hit some points on it. Hey, do I like it? Yes. Does it work good? Is it not greasy? How did it absorb in the gray beer? And I do that kind of stuff because I'm not that guy that can break scents down like Chief Ken or Kevin Pope. So my thing is this: I'm kind of that guy that hopefully people that are kind of newer into the beard product world go, hey, what is it? I'm like, you know what? It smells good. I like it. It has this scent profile. I can smell this, this, and this. It lasts for 5-6 hours, absorb great in my beard, and that's that. Because I'm not trying to represent myself as a guru when it comes to products. You know what I mean? I'm just a regular guy that uses it, and I can tell you if I like it or not, if I like the scent profiles and that kind of stuff. So kind of shifted gears. I kind of, as you guys know, my partner in crime on Thursday Night Santa, Tom, he's kind of rubbed off on me. I'm doing a lot more motivational stuff. Midday motivation. I do Tactical Santa's tips, midday motivation, and my stuff's been a little bit different style now, but I just, I'm trying to break my own mold and, Tactical Santa, I'm just trying to be more of a personality now and help people out rather than just being stuck in that, hey, he's a beard reviewer. So I do all sorts of stuff now.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You're finding yourself.
Right.
That's good. That's really, really good. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
A couple of questions, from Elegant Sasquatch, and then you have Brewer.
I was never in an 8 Mile rap battle, but I can kind of link that to something. So if you guys watched that movie 8 Mile with Eminem, I was part of the set security. I actually worked on the set with him. I used to babysit his little brother Nathan Matters sometimes.
Okay.
So so I can link it all to 8 Mile. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
They said in your show, you're just like a book. You need to write a book. Basically, all this. I mean, you met so many people. You've done so many things. I mean, you gotta put it down on paper.
Sure.
Right.
So
Bishop, how you been today?
It's been a relaxing day today. I got up this morning because I was dealing with some work stuff, and then uh Elegant Sasquatch was on the live, and I popped up on it. I was talking to him on text, and I said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna pop up." And we popped up. We were talking about some stuff. I
Right.
I was all by myself. My son was sleeping with my wife, so I just it's been a relaxing day.
Yeah.
So
That's
hey,
good.
so
But
tomorrow,
here's the question, though, Bishop.
yeah.
How many? So, what is the latest count on chickens that you have? How many chickens do you have?
So let me tell you this.
But
I
it's a
was
two-part. It's a two-part though. How many chickens do you have now? And now, since the prices of eggs have gone down, normalized, how has that affected you? As the trading, because I know you were trading eggs for beard product or something. Has
right.
that affected the trade value or no?
No, it actually went up.
Really?
Man. So I'll tell you how many chicken. I won't tell you how many chickens I got, but I'll tell you how many eggs I got this morning.
Okay,
38.
38.
Yeah,
Wow.
38.
Wow.
Man, how many chickens you got?
Well, so every chicken lays one egg a day, and I got some that lay an egg every 2 to 3 days.
Okay,
So I got 40, including the two roosters. I got 42 big ones. I got 6 babies, and I got 3 turkeys.
man.
Yeah.
Old Nick Bishop had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Man,
And I give all the eggs away. No lie. I don't sell none.
right.
I just I mean I just give them up. Oh yeah, the best. Hey, tell you what so my son likes chicken nuggets, and the other day I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna make my own chicken nuggets, and I did.
Right,
I made their own chicken nuggets, and you know what? It's a lot of work. A lot of work.
right,
But they do taste a lot better than the ones you
Oh,
buy at the store. So
Oh, I'm sure.
right.
I'm
yeah.
sure. It's all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, we got True North just came in.
What up,
What's up?
Chris?
Hey Chris, how you
What
doing, son? Hey, he had a big drop today too. There's
Yeah.
a lot of companies with big drops, with drops
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I know. When we get off here, I gotta go see that drop. Hopefully, there's some stuff left. But I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm on my live. I can't get to it. So,
I know I seen it, man. Listen, so they had a drop,
right,
and Flaming Beer had a drop.
man.
Um, the one guy, the company that we had yesterday on the show, Tame Main Beer, that had a drop. That new company that Steve, the
Yeah,
Chiefs tried, they had a drop.
yep, that's
Um,
right.
yeah, I
Blessed.
mean, yeah. So tomorrow, I'm gonna show. I know I showed it yesterday on my show a little bit, but tomorrow I'm gonna definitely show the cups. I have the 2 cups that arrived yesterday, the day before yesterday, and I showed mine a little bit. But brother, the details on my wife's cup, wow!
So I got my new one in yesterday.
Right,
So you've all
Oh,
seen.
okay.
You've all seen
right,
this.
Yeah.
right.
This is
right.
my OG, right? So I got the new one in yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
All
yeah. I
gas,
heard,
no brakes, baby, and of course TSO representing on
hey,
the handle.
and I heard there's some side effects too.
What's
I
that?
heard there's some side effects of that club.
Yeah, it actually glows in the dark. She did
Yeah.
some glow in the dark
Nice.
stuff on it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm proud of our little community, and I gotta say this.
right.
And then I said yesterday to them on the show, because she is
Fantastic.
great. Yes,
Yeah.
the details. You give her some ideas, and then
Yeah.
she do it. But on I know. Okay, so we got Chief got his. You order yours. Baker ordered his. I ordered mine too. 10 Main Beer order his. Just all from the show that I know. That's all just the ones I know. So just
Right.
imagine.
Yeah.
Hey, did
Yeah.
you
It's
see
awesome.
Oh
Did you-
yes, I did too.
K is awesome too. So you know what'd be
Yes.
crazy is if Kay and Jennifer got together and did some projects together, man. But
Mhm.
I wish I had I'm that guy that I'm kind of creative. Like I'm creative, right? But I'm not an artist, right? And these
Yes.
people, like whether you're talking about these wonderful lady that can make cups like they do, or if you're talking about all these beard company owners, right? Because in my mind, they're all artists, right?
Right. Yeah.
I can't do
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. You know, like I give them so much credit. Like all
Oh, yeah.
these companies, they're artists. You know what I mean? So it's like it was funny. So when you know when Mike Wiseman, the hemp wizard, got a hold of me, he's like, hey, you know, and he was talking about, he goes, it's so he's surprised. So let me tell you the backstory. I go down to the Zion beard comp battle, right?
Right.
And the
Yeah.
reason I went there was because Mike Wiseman was going to be there. And I'm like, dude, I got to see the Hep Wizard. I haven't seen him since Buckeye. And him and I, you know, we talk. And I'm like, I'm going to be there.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
get there. And he's like, hey, man, you got to come out to my car. I got some stuff for you. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go out there, you know. He gave me 3 beard oils, all releasing soon, right? I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man. He goes, yeah, but I saved the last one, the best one for last. I'm like, what's that? And he pulled it out, and it was the Tactical Santa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Like, dude, I'll tell you what, like, I was so like, dude, it just floored me. I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I'm like, I didn't know what to say, you know. And then it was funny because I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm like, so what's the sim profile? I'm like, what does it have? And he goes, all sorts of awesomeness. That's all I'm going to tell you. Awesome in a bottle. And I'm like, holy crap, you know. But I mean, it just, dude, I brought a tear to my eye because I'm like, this guy is doing this for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, you know. But what an awesome. But all these, you know, like you talk Mike Wiseman, you talk Matt from Florida Boys, you talk Chris from True North, you talk Stacy from Wednesday, you talk the other Chris from Elegant Sasquatch. And I got to tell you, he's been hitting out some bangers.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All these small batch company owners are so cool, and they really put their heart in all these products. And I'll tell you what, man, they're just stellar, man, stellar.
Right.
Everybody is just
Look,
killing.
even their artwork. I mean, you know,
Right.
I would like to have some posters of some of their artwork.
Right.
I mean, it's just it's really nice to put all that into a small bottle. You know,
So I
You
think
know-
yesterday.
You
Go
know,
ahead, go
another guy we got to mention too is Dan from Bearded Death. That guy's awesome. You know,
Yes.
he's doing a lot of stuff, and you know, he actually I'm wearing it today. You can see the front, but on the back, he actually did a Tactical Santa shirt
Wow.
that you can buy on his website because he's like, hey man, I sent him a design, and he's like, wait, I'm like, dude, do it up. And he goes, really? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, put your logo on the sleeve. I'm like, let's collab, you know. And he did it.
yeah.
And, yeah, so what an awesome guy that guy is.
He is.
Awesome product.
I gotta check that out. I
He is.
haven't been.
It was one of my first ones, man. My first oils that I ever got was him.
Right.
So I'm gonna do a real one here. So this week I'm working on, man. This next 2 weeks are gonna be so busy for me.
Right.
So I'm working on. I got when I started doing this, I started putting my stickers on my bathroom door, right? And I got a picture. The cool thing is I got a couple of pictures of it, so now I could time select to like how it's starting to this back here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm gonna do a video to that, you know, like a thank you video, right? Because
Right.
honest, if it wasn't for all these, you know, all these wonderful people that, you know, that we support, we
Yeah.
won't be doing this, right? So, and then I have, you know, how I did that coffee bottle from Chris and Weekly Wednesday. So I had in schedule already to do the peanut butter one, and I'm gonna do the video, and then I have another one that I'm gonna do a bottle of the creamsicles, right?
Yeah.
And I have 4 of them. I'm gonna just, you know, some OG
Nice.
ones, some new companies in there. I'm just throw them out there and
Right.
just do a bottle of it, and it's pretty cool.
Right.
And then this Saturday, I have, you know, it's my special show with Melissa.
Right.
Hey, Jacob, how you doing, brother?
Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob.
And I
Hearts
have
and
my
prayers go out to you, Jacob.
Yes, sir.
Hearts and prayers.
Definitely.
Yes, they do.
So I have my special show with Melissa, the Autism Awareness, right?
Right.
And then, so I've been doing a show with Kyle, and he was not able to do a show this week and next week. So, I'm gonna do a show on Sunday at I think it's at 3:30. It's before yours, so it don't interfere with yours, and it's gonna be with Flaming Beer.
Right.
You know. So, and then of course Monday I got my big show with my brothers, right? So,
Right.
man, I already told my wife, don't worry about it. I'm gonna but you didn't.
Right. Right.
So,
So
what,
I,
what's
mhm, go ahead.
what's next, Dino? What's next for your show coming up on Monday night?
So we have 30 Spray J joining us on
Nice.
tomorrow night's show. Yeah. So
That's good.
come on, it should be a fun time. Jay likes to talk, and it's cool because sometimes, I mean, as far as you guys, sometimes you have a guest on, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of hard getting them to talk. So
Right.
Yeah.
tomorrow night's going to be pretty easy for me and Bishop and Chief because Jay has no problem talking,
Right.
and a lot of people like him, and it's going to be a fun show. He always cracks me up, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what about the Trace Amigos?
Trace Amigos is so I can't say nothing about this show Thursday night because
Oh, that.
it's a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
It's
I
gonna
have a clue. I have an idea, but I can't pinpoint it yet. But
right,
it's gonna be interesting if it is.
right.
So,
No, that's good. That's good. And Bishop, you just went over your whole lineup. You got like 3 shows in a row that you're going to be doing Saturday, Sunday, and then you get your Monday with these guys. For me, I got Jen Parks. She's a Whiskerina,
Yeah,
and she's going to be on the show next Sunday. Just talking about it. It's just all kinds of things. She's done a couple different competitions,
right.
So
I know,
that's usually at the end, but we're going to do it in the middle this time. We get everybody. Why Bishop's still here?
it's funny because on the wrestling show earlier, 30J Spray was like, "You need to have another show. You can just talk about people you know." Like,
yeah.
"Oh, I got 3," and he's like, "You need to have another one." I'm like, I could, but here's the problem, right? I don't think anybody wants to sit here and listen to me for an hour and a half just talk about people I've met. Like. I would get so sidetracked. I would need a co-host for that or somebody being the host because I'd be like all over the place,
Yeah, yeah. It's great to do like you guys doing 2, doing 3, all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, I can't even just the one. I prepare all week for just one.
Right.
Now you got 2. Now you got 2.
Now it's 2, but you do the hard stuff. I buy some products and I say I like it or I don't like it.
Right.
No, it is hard. Don't get me wrong, because Dino knows. Because I was talking to Dino and Chief trying to get advice on how to play it out because I wanted to, I didn't want to miss out on. Flaming Beer, the opportunity to have them because they're busy. They always, they have the whole summer planned out for all these crafts that they do,
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw the gap in there, and it's definitely not something I want to do every week, 3 shows, because it is a lot.
Right. It's so something that's cool is because we all do these shows, right? And the thing about it is it makes it so much fun. Like it makes it easier. Like I can't imagine the ones that do it where they're just them, right? With no guests, they're due to them because but it's so cool when you got a couple of guys like when you have some co-hosts and your co-host can help you like make the show go. You know what I mean? Because I think the biggest I'd be willing to say this. I think all of us our biggest fear when we're doing a show is having that awkward moment where you have that pause where nobody knows what to say.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the biggest fear, right? So luckily with all the shows I do, I've got guys on there that, if there's that like little hint of a pause, somebody jumps in and just boom, you know what I mean? So that makes it really easy.
Yeah, that's I don't know if you ever saw my first show, but basically I set up all week to talk to this guy that makes trophies for comps and goes to comps, and he canceled. Well, he didn't even cancel. He just didn't answer me back or whatnot. So I froze up. That show was like 30 minutes because I didn't know what to do. I was like, I had all these questions and all these pictures and.
But it happens. It happens. I mean, you saw my show yesterday. How many? And I had it wrote down on a piece of paper. I had the information I had it wrote down on a piece of paper, and I still messed it up. But it happens. I mean,
Well, it's either that or technical. I remember Bishop when we first were doing our show and we were doing it on Instagram, right? And dude, like for some reason, one of us would bomb out. It would take forever to get all three of us, and then you get all three and be like, "Well, we can see two of you, we can't see one." And, and you're like, "What is going on?" So if it's not that sort of stuff, it's the technical difficulties, right? Like, what is going on here? So that's why I was like, you know what, we're moving to Restream because I'm not.
and it's funny because I had somebody, Sean and Walker, right?
Yeah.
Doing that new, they're coming up with that new show they're gonna start doing. That they're talking about starting doing, anyways. I've been talking to them and they reached out to me. I reached out to them actually to invite them to the show.
Right.
I have to go for the show. And then after that, he was asking me, he goes, "Hey man, what are you doing it on YouTube or Instagram?" I said, "I started on Instagram, but it was a lot of problems on Instagram, and I moved to YouTube, and it's super easy." And I told him, I said, "Hey, brother, if you need any advice, somebody did it for me, I'm gonna do it for you." And then after we finished talking, I was like, "Man, that is true because you guys helped me, I help Baker, and then it keeps rotating. So that's the beautiful thing about this community,
Right.
So,
I think that's a cool thing with all of us. I'd like to say the new generation of guys coming around, right? We've got some guys that have been around for a little while, like Chief and that, but none of us are gatekeepers. Like if you message me and say, "Hey, I need an opinion," or "Hey, how do you do this?"
Right.
If I know how to do it, I'll be like, "Hey, man, check this, do this, or this and that." I'm not a gatekeeper, because I think before a lot of these guys were like, it was kind of like a measuring thing, right? Like, oh, I've got 10,000 subscribers. You're not going to get that, so I'm not going to help you. Like, honestly, like, okay, so I have a thing like I want to reach 400 subscribers by my birthday, June 27th, right? I'm at like 305. If it doesn't happen, am I going to be heartbroken? No, it's just something I threw out there, right? But when you look at it, okay, so unless you have 100,000 subscribers, you're not going to make money on YouTube, right?
Right.
I have no, dreams of grandeur. I'm ever going to get 100,000 subscribers, right? All I want to do is have fun. I put the content out there. If I get subscribers, I get them. If I don't, whatever.
Right.
It is what it is, right? As long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing and I'm having fun, that's all that matters. And another thing is, if you're having fun doing what you do and you're genuine, the subscribers will come.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I just do my thing, stay in my lane, and do what I'm doing.
And listen, and I told this to Baker yesterday. So yesterday, if you watch my replay on my show, I did some. I had an entry video for my guests. Guess who I learned that from? My slides are getting better. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm watching. I'm just playing around. It's getting better. So
right.
Well, it's funny that you're talking about the subscribers coming and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys watch Storage Wars.
Yeah.
Okay,
the Brandy Passat or whatever. She's starting a new YouTube channel, a podcast about celebrities. In one day, she got 874 people.
Sure. It's like a lot of people ask me, if we're like, "You're the Tactical Santa, why don't you do gun stuff?" And I'll do some gun stuff. But see, here's the problem that the gun tubers are having right now, right? So now there's a whole fresh crop of these big booty girls,
right,
that do gun tube stuff, right? And my thing is this, and it's not about them being female, because I have a lot of wonderful female instructors that I know and I work with, and it's not gender based. But the problem is when you get some girl who's like a 9 or a 10, and she's sexual booty, she gets thousands of subscribers, and is she giving good information? No, she's not. But they're not tuning in for that. They're tuning in to watch her, right? So the problem is I can't compete with that. I mean, I have a sexy beard, right? I may be the smack talker, slay walker, but at the end of the day, dudes don't want to check my face out if they can check some, hot chick out. So I'm like, I'm like, I'll
Yeah.
do gun stuff here and there, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't compete, you know, I
Right.
cannot compete against that, and I'm not even going to try,
No,
you know.
there's
Yeah,
nothing you're gonna do there. There's
No, I
nothing.
mean it's unfortunately, but that is true. They
right,
sex the industry now, and then, you
right,
know what I mean. It is hard. I mean, you know,
right,
it is what it is. Make us a
right,
little bit. We got to do a little bit more work, and
Yeah.
right,
that's what it is.
right.
But listen, man, I just wanted to pop up real quick and just show some love to Baker, show some love to my other
I
brother.
appreciate it, bud.
Baker, you're doing good. The whole scenario looks a lot better, so you can keep doing it.
Thank you.
Tactical Sam, appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow,
My
Yep.
and
brother.
just keeping it rocking, man. Love you guys.
Oh yeah, brother.
Jacob, we keep you family in our prayers, and Terry, keep your head up.
Thank you,
All right,
Bishop.
later. Yep.
Have a good one, Bishop.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, he contacted me earlier, and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Hey, do you want me to stop in?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, you could. You're
I can.
open anytime you want
Yeah,
to, bud." You know, but yeah, to go on to, I mean, just the way things are changing. They used to do that back in magazine articles.
right,
You know, I
right,
mean, it's just kind of going through now with this. You know,
right,
but it's funny. Nobody's going to be attacking my show. I'm good.
right.
You know, and I'm
Mhm.
not looking for the subscribers. I'm looking at it's. This is a hobby for me right now.
Exactly,
It
exactly.
just gets me out of my comfort zone, gets to talk to great people, and that's what it
Right,
is. You
right,
know.
exactly.
Uh, so I know you're saying you're going to again. It he was talking to me about it the other day that he has all his rooms booked.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, he says it's totally booked, and that
Right.
he is adding more stuff. Are you going to take part in going ATV riding or
So
walk the
I'm
bridge?
I'm probably not going to do those. I know Friday. So the plan is I'll probably be traveling early Friday morning, so I'll probably miss out on the ATV stuff. Heights is not my thing, so I'm not walking that bridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was lucky enough when I was at the Zion and talked to him. He's like, "Hey man, like they've got like a couple rooms left." He gave me the info, and I called like the next day, and
Yeah.
I got the room booked.
Yeah.
So yeah, but um yeah, I'm just gonna try to like, socialize, network. I plan on taking a lot of pictures there, Um,
Yeah.
it's funny now because like so I was down at the Zion Beard Comp, right? And
Hey, Amber.
Brother Amber, what's happening? But so I'm down at the Zion, and here I am standing with Mike Wiseman, the hemp wizard, right?
Yeah.
And this dude comes up, he's like, "Hey man, can I take a picture with you?" And I move out of the way, right? And he's like, "No, with you." I'm like, "What do you mean? That's the hemp wizard." He goes, "You're Tactical Santa. I watch your shows and all that." He goes, "Can I take a picture?" I'm like, "Okay, man." So
That's got to
it's
make you feel good. That's got to
well,
make you
it's
feel
funny
good.
because I'm like sitting there, I'm like, me? You know what I mean? So when I go to these things now, like people are starting to recognize me, and I'm like, man, because I was a professional bodyguard by trade, right?
Yeah.
So I was always, protecting celebrities, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like, what do you mean you want to take a picture with me or you want to do this or that? Okay, so it's so funny that, but yeah, it's like that's the hemp wizard. Do you want to take a picture with him? He's like, I want to take a picture with you. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, you're saying the legend of the hemp wizard, and he's
right,
saying the legend of Tactical Santa. Uh,
right,
so it
right,
is. It's got to be good. You get recognized because you're doing a lot of work. You're out there, and I like seeing everything. So sooner or later, somebody's got to be
sure,
fangirl on you.
right, right. And that's the hardest thing. I sat there and I thought for a little bit because obviously, I will, Brewer. I'll be your bodyguard at work. But I sat there and I was looking at things, and I'm sure a lot of people have noticed how I've switched gears, right? And my style probably isn't for everybody. You know what I mean? I mean, I kind of switched up how I do things, how I word things, and my style of doing the reels, and that that's okay because at the end of the day, I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew when I switched gears, I'm like, hey, you know what? Not everybody's gonna like what I'm doing, but I'm fine with that. I'm okay because I felt that I was suppressing myself, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I just want to be me, and I want to have fun with this, enjoy it, and this is more what I'm seeing is what I'm showing is I'm showing you more of me. Like if you meet me in person and hang out with me, this is more of how I'm like than
Nice.
the very subdued tactical Santa that's been around for a past year. But I kind of did that for reasons because I wanted to get to know everybody. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
wanted to get to know everybody. And when you're new to a scene, you try to stay a little bit neutral and try to figure things out. And once I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? The beard community is unlike any other community because they'll accept you. As long
Yeah.
as you're real, they'll accept you. And
Mhm.
I have got nothing but love from everybody in the beard community. I mean, I had one hater at one point, and that was taken care of really quick. But other than that, everybody's always been like, "Hey, what's going on, Tactical Santa?" Blah blah blah. Everybody.
Yeah.
So I love everybody in this community, and it's so great that you really can be yourself, and people don't judge you. So I think it's
No, they
great.
support you. They don't judge, they
Right,
support.
right,
And I still to this day, like I started going into DNC stuff,
right,
and and I just got caught on to all these other shows, Beard of Respect, all this stuff,
right,
and it just. I messaged Dan one time and he answered me. I was like,
right,
wow.
right,
Amber, I messaged her. She answered me. I
right,
messaged you. You answer
right,
me. I mean,
right,
it's just like, wow.
right,
I don't get, like I make a phone call, I don't get answers.
right, right. It's funny you mentioned Dan C because I sent him a message one day, because I actually live only probably 35 minutes away from him.
Yeah,
I haven't met him yet, but the funny thing is we got to talking, and on one of his shows, he was talking about where he met his wife,
yeah.
and he had met his wife at a club in Pontiac, Michigan called Tiki Bob's.
Hey,
And
Jeff.
I said, "What year?" And he told me what year. I'm like, I was the door guy working there, so I'm the one that ID'd you. He's like, "Are you Kim?" Like, "Yeah, I used to work at Tiki Bob's. I was the door guy, this and that." So it's such
That's
a small
crazy.
world, right? Yeah, and
That's
then
crazy.
and it's funny how it's such a small connected world, right? Because I'm sitting there one day and on my Facebook feed, I see Melissa from Copper John's pop up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it says Shelby, Michigan. I'm like, no way, she lives like 5 minutes away from me. So I actually messaged her. I'm like, "Hey, do you?" And she goes, "You live in Rochester?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're neighbors." And I'm like, "What?" So, and I actually I met up with her and her family. They came down to my
Yeah,
ice cream cookie dough store a couple weeks ago, and I got to meet her. How awesome is that? And I'm like,
yeah.
it just blew my mind that we live so close, right? Like I was like, "What?"
And you didn't know. You didn't know.
Oh, didn't know. She had actually been in my cookie dough ice cream store before.
Yeah,
Um, she had been in when it was my parents' restaurant before we changed it. So, yeah, so I was like, wow, what a small world this is.
that is. I mean,
Yeah,
it wasn't the first time you saw her or any of that stuff either. Like, shows and heard of her and
right,
stuff, and then all of a sudden, you're like, hey, you're right next to me here.
right, right,
And
for
it took
sure.
the internet to kind of bring that together. That's pretty crazy,
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
But yeah, Kay, you're on the
Yeah.
West Coast. I wish I knew more people on the West Coast. I'm sure there are, but you know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't know anybody over there to help you guys out. But
Right.
if you could come closer to the East Coast,
Right.
um, but it's funny. So my first competition I went to, I told you it was again.
Right.
I was scared.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I, I
Right.
I didn't really know anybody except for the guy that drove down with me, and
Right.
like I pull up and you know what it looks like. You're pulling up to a hotel that's nothing's around.
Right. Right.
you know,
Right.
you got a pond, a creek in the back, and stuff like that, and it feels like you're at a country house and there's nothing really around you. And
Right.
I check in and stuff like that, and I just walk down and I started seeing people.
Right.
They're all there talking, having a drink or something.
Hmm.
And first one that came up to me was, I don't know if you know him, but Forrest Figgins.
I know the name. I don't know him, but I
Yeah,
the name. Yeah.
him and his wife Amanda.
Hmm.
They, I was sitting at the bench just looking at it. I think I was texting my wife probably, and they come up and they sit down and we just started talking.
Right. Right.
And it just he made me feel real comfortable,
Mm,
after that, all this stuff. And then as I
right.
started walking through, they're like, "Hey, nice beard, you entered in the competition." But but yeah, Brewer knows Forrest. He's goatee, uh,
Hmm.
usually wears a cowboy hat and stuff. But it was the first person I met that, other than the person that drove down with me. And
Right.
I was like, this is great. I mean,
Right.
like he probably noticed he's been to
Right.
competitions and I was never there, and
Right.
he probably just said, "Hey, I'm gonna break the ice with this guy,"
Right.
But it is the community.
Right.
There's not much more we can say about it. I
Right.
mean, it's great,
There was another moment that kind of blew my mind. Right. So, I think I've been doing the Trace Amigos show maybe for a month. Right.
Yeah,
And the Beard of Respect got a hold of me and said, "Hey, do you want to be a guest on there?" And I was like, "Well, yeah," but it like blew me away because I was so new, right?
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, because I'm like looking at it, I'm like, man, the caliber of guests they have on there, and they have owners and everything, and all these guests, and I'm like, holy crap. And then, I said, yeah, and it was funny because I did the Trace Amigo show that day because it's Thursday, right? They come out.
yeah,
I remember sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm on the Beard of Respect, like, holy crap, what are they going to ask me because I'm not an owner, like I'm this I'm this dude who's just like kind of a reviewer, but I'm like this gun guy and this, and I,
yeah,
tactical sand and this, I'm like, oh my gosh, so I was almost like kind of like, okay, like I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to look like an idiot on the Beard of Respect, so
yeah.
it was pretty crazy. But
So
what an awesome time.
So since you've been on YouTube, you said you played with the pew pews and stuff like that. Have you always been tactical Santa?
So here's what happened. I didn't always have the beard, right? So
Yeah.
I had a short beard for a little while, and then I had my open heart surgery, right?
Hmm.
And I got on blood thinners, and I was like, well, I'm not shaving. Like, I'm just going to let it go, right? So it kind of was that, like, I would say, like, maybe like a 3-inch beard. And a guy I worked with, he's like, I was sitting there one day, he goes, you know what your instructor name should be? You know what your thing should be? I'm like, what's that, man? He goes, man, you're Tactical Santa. And I'm like, hmm. And it just kind of like stuck. And I was like, I'm going to run with it. And it was funny because initially a lot of the guys I worked with, man, because I like started, I'm like, I'm Tactical Santa. And I like jumped into it like both feet, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And some of the people that were in the gun community, when I go to places and all that, they like kind of made fun of me at first, right? Like, what is this guy? What an idiot, Tactical Santa. And then, they start seeing my stuff pop up and I'm doing things. And now they're like, oh my gosh, now I get the ones that used to make fun of me. They're like, hey, I know that guy. That's Tactical Santa. I know him, and I'm like, okay, you were hating on me at first, but now,
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, but, you know,
Nice, nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I always wanted to know that because you get it.
right,
You with the guns, tactical and stuff like that.
right.
But you know, and how's SEAL Team 6 doing,
Oh,
or
the Elf Team
Elf Team
6.
6?
Yeah, so Chief's been pretty good to them. I got Bane Blends, owner of Bane Blends. He actually got inducted into Elf Team 6 too, so yeah, so Chief and him are keeping everything going. So I think Baker,
Yeah.
I think that we need to make you a member of the Elf Team 6 too. Yeah.
After this, I got a picture to show of I did an AI with a kind of
Right.
a tactical kind of thing
There we
happening.
go.
I'll show you, and you let me know then.
Right, right. Yeah, it's always funny
uh,
when I initially started on the Trace Amigos because there's two Santas, right? And
yeah,
people are like, oh, what? I'm like, listen, Santa Tom's the good Santa. I'm the bad Santa. I'm the one that gets in trouble. And
yeah,
oh, come on, you
uh,
gotta let me spray right. Nothing to be nervous about, right? Nothing to be
nothing.
nervous about coming on to Mayhem, man. You'll have fun. 30 spray
Yeah.
J. Come on now. But
And Dave says he felt the same way, but
right.
it's all
You know what
good. We're all
you know what
friends.
I kind of pride myself on with the Monday Night Mayhem show is myself and Chief and Bishop, um, I pride myself in getting people who've never been on lives before. Um, because I think the Monday Night Mayhem show is like a very like it's a good first show to be on, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not too serious. We talk about everything. We joke and all that. So
Hmm.
I think it's a good show to be that first one for anybody who hasn't been live yet. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Because we keep everybody, we keep everybody, all the people that come on, we keep them in a great mood. Like, hey, don't be nervous, don't worry about it, because a lot of people get nervous, like, oh my gosh, what if I freeze? I'm like, don't worry about it. There's three of us. If you freeze, we're gonna jump in and we'll start asking questions. So it's no worries. We will
Yeah.
make you look good. I promise you.
Yeah,
So yeah.
you're not going to sit back and just watch them suffer,
Right, right,
and
right.
that's it. When you guys first started doing it and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and you guys asked me, I wish I could have done that as my first show because of the fact
Right.
it, like I've learned so much from Bishop. I really have,
Mhm.
and it would have been a great experience, but the work thing doesn't
Right,
ever work out really, but
right.
maybe someday we'll get there. But I was happy to kind of be on any of you guys' show at any time, and
Right,
I'm very honored that you came to my show
right,
because it's great. Nobody has really said no in our beard community.
right, right,
Lots of people have not shown in the other community, which I'm not dragging down.
right, right,
There's life things that happen,
right.
but I'm glad every guest I get on here because I'm the little pebble right yet,
Right, right. And that's one thing about this community is that have you noticed in the beard community there really isn't an ego problem, right? Like
No,
people in this community, there's no ego problem. Or like, I was running a show on Facebook for a little bit, and it was myself and my two other guys that we do classes together. And when we would try to get other instructors on, they had like ego issues, like the firearm industry, the firearm instructor, firearm gun tuber, whatever you want to
yeah,
call it. There's a lot of egos with all that. You know what I mean?
hmm,
And it was just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with it. And when I
yeah,
started dealing with the beard community, it's like I couldn't believe it when I reach out to somebody and like just like you, right?
yeah,
I'd reach out to somebody and they'd answer me back and we would talk and it's like wow, like nobody in the beard community speaks in tongues, right? Like when I
yeah,
was doing the firearm people, like, oh well, this and this, they'll give you like this much information, but they won't give you all of it, right? And you're like,
yeah,
but the beard community, like, you know, hey, I got a problem with this. What do you do? Hey, you know what?
hmm,
This and this, look there, this is where you go, and this is how you do it. There's no gatekeeping. Everybody
yeah,
wants to help each other and everybody wants to make everybody rise up, so
yeah.
I think that's amazing. You know,
It
my
is.
my biggest problem right now, and I feel bad, is that I'm working 6 days a week, right? And there's only so much time in the day. I got my shows I got to do. And then the other time I'm, like I told you, I had 5 bypass. So I'm trying to
Hmm.
stay healthy. So I got to hit the gym and all that. So I do miss a lot of lives. I try to catch lives when I can,
Yeah.
but life is just so busy right now. I mean, I've got all that going on. I just started a new certification. So that's going to take me a while. So I'm like, man, I try. So anybody out there, don't think that I'm avoiding you or don't like you. It just, and I never thought I'd say this, but there's just not enough hours in the day
No.
with me right
No.
now, trying to do content, trying to get work in 6 days a week, trying to do classes, this, and this. So I get
Hmm.
pulled in like 90 different directions. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I like last night I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm forgetting something. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Baker and Bishop's
Yeah.
lives. I caught like the last 20 minutes of it, but
Yeah.
I totally forgot. But I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I got boom, I'm going on it. So I try to hit everybody. I try to watch as many lives as I can. It just I get so inundated with everything.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Yeah,
Right,
Brewer, thank you for that. I'm trying.
right.
I'm upgrading. As you can see, my little caption underneath my name. Don't mind the mess. Uh,
Right.
we're building better things here.
You
But
know,
yeah, there
I
isn't.
got I got to give a shout out to Brewer, man. I'll tell you what, man. Brewer's such an awesome guy. Brewer does so much in the community. He's always on lives. He helps everybody. Just such a genuine guy. I don't think Brewer gets enough, not respect, but enough recognition for everything he does. You know what I mean? Because he is everywhere. He will help anybody out.
Yeah.
Another person, Amber.
Mhm.
Amber is awesome. She does so much for this community. I hope she's getting the recognition that she deserves because she, like
Yeah.
she does all the hard work. She really
Yeah.
does. And I've got her coming on the Monday Night Mayhem show again real soon.
Nice.
But she's awesome. And she, like with everything she knows and with the mental health and doing everything, I mean, just an awesome person. And
I agree.
hopefully
agree.
everybody, and I think they do. Everybody in the beard community really appreciates what she does.
Yeah.
You know.
I wouldn't have found half of the shows without that Amber paper.
Right.
And she puts the links in there.
Right.
I mean,
she does.
I didn't have to write it down and then kind of go look for it. I just clicked, and that's where I got most of my shows from. It was that. So, yeah, it is. It's just doing that. I mean, man, that's I complain about preparing for a show for a week. She's compared a newspaper for whatever.
Right, and she, and that's the thing is imagine it's not only just making that, but keeping up to date on everything, right? Like tracking all the information down and doing all that. Like I couldn't do it, I couldn't do that, and she does it.
I have trouble just putting links on my stories.
Oh, you're not kidding, man.
Like when I first posted the little thumbnail and stuff like that, I didn't even tag you in the first one. I'm like, why did I tag Dino?
Right. It's funny is if you go back on your Facebook or whatever and you look and you're like when I first started posting, I'm like, I was so terrible. Like I didn't put links in. I didn't, I didn't link. I'm like, I was so, and now I look at my posts. I'm like, not that I'm a professional, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, because I got a checklist that goes on. I'm like, all right, I got to tag people. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to share it. I got to do this. Before it was like, oh, look at this. It looks good. And I go back. I'm like, that's horrible. Like, wow.
How did people ever find you? How did?
Right. I still won't go back like on YouTube, like my first video reviews I did. I won't go back and watch them because I'm like scared to go watch them. And I'm sure when I made them, I was like, wow, look at this. This is really good. Now I go back and be like, oh God, should I delete this? Yeah. So.
I did the same thing. I was going through all the first ones, the ones I was doing tests on and all that. I was like, should I delete it? But it had views. It had people there. So like if I delete that, YouTube will probably ban me or something. I don't know,
Right. And that's the thing is sometimes, the hardest part now is that so I've had a couple people reach out to me like, hey, everything you reviewed, like you're always, saying it's good and this and that. So where's the bad review? And I'm like, well, here's the problem. This is the true answer to that, right? I haven't used a company yet that makes bad product.
Yeah.
Because I think we've come to the golden age of beer products where everybody knows how to make stuff, right? So I haven't had anything. I mean, maybe if I found some obscure company or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, all these small batch companies are making wonderful. So I'm like, so here's the difference though. If I don't like a scent profile, it's not a bad product. I just don't care for the scent profile.
Exactly.
It's all subjective, right?
Yeah.
But I have not come across bad beard oil. I've not come across bad beard butter.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't come across, because people are like, oh, well, you've got all these different beard washes and beard conditioners. So which one's bad? I'm like, they're all good. Like, I haven't come across bad stuff,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, because I had a guy like, oh, these companies got to be paying you or, this and that. I'm like, dude, it's everything I've used is good. Like nobody's paying me to say anything's good. So when I first got, I mean, I don't know if you knew me back then or had seen me, but I was an ambassador for Florida Boys. Okay. And what was happening was I was posting a lot for Florida Boys because I was like, you know what? I mean, I really dig Florida Boy grooming products, and I like everything. So I was, I was posting, and it was funny because I didn't even know what a master was. So
Ah,
he reached out to me and he's like, "Hey man, I'm going to get together a couple of ambassadors. Do you want to be an ambassador?" Before I'm like, "Yeah, sure," and then I'm like, I said yes, and I'm like, I don't know what an ambassador is. I had to
yeah,
actually figure it out. So um, I was doing that, and I was posting every day because at that time, I really was only wearing two different companies at that time, or actually it was three, Florida Boys, Hemp Wizard, and I think it was Jays or Cervantes. One, so I was just wearing three
yeah.
mostly, so I was posting all the time, Florida Boy stuff. And I got accused of, people saying, well, he's paying you to do this. And I'm like, he's not paying me to do this. And then when I got on the Trace Amigo show, I'm like, well, every week we were having a different small batch company owner. So I'm like, I'm going to start buying their stuff and trying it. So I'll wear it that week, and
Yeah.
then the cool thing is Matt never looked at me and said, you can't. Like, he's like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
never looked at
That's
me.
nice.
He never looked at me and said, well, you're a Florida Boys ambassador. You can't do this. He's like, all I want is you to make like one or two posts a week about my stuff. And we're cool. He goes, you can try everybody else's stuff. So the Trace Amigo show kind of branched me out into trying everybody else's stuff. And then it reached a point where Matt was like, hey, I'm going to get rid of the ambassadors, and I'm like, that's cool. I said, "Yeah, but if you ever want me to test anything before it comes out, I'll test it for you."
Hmm.
So I kind of got cut loose as far as, hey, now I don't have any restrictions. I can do whatever I want. And that's when I started this huge 300 beard oil collection. I
I
just
know.
started buying everybody's stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, so I went from that to I made a list of, I think there was like 15 or 18 companies. And what I did was I bought 3 or 4 oils from each company, right? And I'm like, hey, this week you're going to be my highlight of the week. I'm going to spotlight you for the whole week. So I was doing week-long reviews of
Hmm.
companies. And then that just finished up like 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, all right, I'm never doing that again. I'm not
Yeah.
doing week longs. But I did do a whole bunch, and now I'm like, well, what do I want to wear today? I can wear whatever I want to wear, so I don't have any
Yeah.
restriction. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's something. So when I first kind of got in and started looking at companies and, feeling out companies, and they were doing sales and they were
yeah,
doing all kinds
right.
of stuff. I,
Hmm.
I bought this shelf. It's a little caddy that would store, uh, beard oils and beard butters, the 2-ounce beard butters.
Right.
And then it had like combs you could put in and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I put that in my bathroom and I said, I ain't going any further than this. I'm
How
going to stop.
how long did that last? Like, it was like week number 2. You're like, I got to find a different way to put everything.
It, it,
Right.
it was like, and I, and it was like, I don't know. I was like fiending. I was
Right.
fiending over
See,
like another drop,
right.
another this, another that, and like I'm hoping that somebody says, "Well, this has this kind of scent," and I'm
Right.
like, "Okay, well, I won't buy that then,"
Right.
or whatnot. And it's just,
Right.
oh my god! I said to Bishop, I said I'm gonna take a little hiatus on stuff, and then he
Uh-huh.
asked me to come on the show, and he
Right.
goes, "Well, we got this one coming up, okay."
Got to buy some. Right. See, my problem is I got a beard product problem, and I've got the infamous Jordan problem, right? So I got a shoe problem, I got a beard product problem, I got a Dixon flannel problem. So yeah, I am definitely the bad influencer, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you how many people in the beard community have said, thanks to Dino, I bought Dixon flannels. And I'm like, it wasn't my fault. You know what I mean? But yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But
It's it is funny. My daughter, she's a big sneaker fan, the
yeah,
Dunks and all that stuff,
right,
and
right,
she has a shelf that she has them all on and stuff like that. And
right.
every time she goes, "Hey, I'm gonna buy another pair of sneakers," I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think you should or whatnot." And she goes, "Well, how many beard oils you got there?"
Right. Well, you know, you can now tell her that Tactical Santa feels her pain because I'm always like, dude, I'm like, yep. So,
Yeah.
you know what? I can give you guys. I'll give you a sneak glimpse at this. So, Tactical Santa got some special shoes I'll be wearing when I do Tactical Santa appearances. Probably not at Ghent, but at probably Worlds and probably down at Buckeye Beer Battle and some other stuff I'm doing. But do you want to see the Tactical Santa shoes?
Come on, guys, give a thumbs up if you want to see them.
Do you want to see these amazing shoes? All right, so I'm going to show. Let's see.
Everybody's on the Dixon. To be careful, Dave.
Yeah, the Dixon is a slippery slope, especially when they have sales. That's how they're going to get you. Like they got a sale
There
going
we
on.
go.
All right, so these are the Tactical Santa. These are some Kobe 9 Elite Protros. They were actually the Christmas shoes last year, and I'm like, yep, I've got to get them. I didn't, so I went on the sneaker app when they dropped, and I
Yeah.
wasn't able to get them. They sold out like that, so I'm like, I'll give it some time. I went on StockX, and I actually got them cheaper than what they were original. So I'm like,
Oh, nice.
I got to get these because this just
Yeah.
kind of completes the Tactical Santa. This is it. If Tactical Santa was wearing shoes, this is it. Yep. So,
They are cool.
So Brewer, how many Dixons do you have? Because if I tell you how many I have, you're all going to tell me I need to go to Dixons Anonymous. So, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I have one.
You
I
have
bought
one?
the Irish one.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm in a good season now because it's hot, so
Right.
I think I could put down the pressure a little bit.
Right. So I dove deep down the Dixon flannel rabbit hole, and it's almost embarrassing to tell you how many I have, but I have 178 Dixons.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was catching stuff on sale, and then I had a guy that I knew. Well, I didn't know. I met him on one of the Dixon flannel forums. He's like, "Hey, man, I got your size, and they're all brand new in bags." And he had gained a bunch of weight, so he couldn't wear them anymore. And he's like, "I'll make deals on." So I was buying like stuff from him. I was buying like 15 for like the cost of like 5. So I was getting big
Okay.
bundles. Yeah. And then next thing I know, I'm like, I think I have enough. I think I have enough. So, and then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, so winter is only like, I don't know, 120 days. I'm like, I can't even get them all in one winter season, fall and winter, you know? So, yeah. So I'm like, I don't need any more. So, yeah. Yep.
That is crazy.
See, Baker, that's what I'm around for. I made you feel much better. You feel much better about yourself and not guilty about the 40 that you have. See, it's all good.
It is. It like I said, even just with the beard oils, the beard washes, and I decided, well, I want to still support these guys, so I'm going to buy hats. Well, the hats are everywhere. The washes, the soap bars. I probably could wash myself every day for the next lifetime, and stuff. But I just love supporting these guys, and I don't want to stop. I'm not hurting. I'm not taking it away from any other fund. So.
And that's the thing. Like I've had people at me like, "Oh my God, you got like 25 pairs of Jordans, you got all these Dixon, you got retros." I'm like, you got to understand something. I'm single. I don't have any kids. My bills aren't very high, so I'm not spending money that should be paying bills or supporting anybody else. So this is just,
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I say. If I start taking it out of any other fund, I will stop.
Right. You know what the hardest part is? So I've got like so myself, Chief, Santa Tom, and I think Bishop's going to do it too. But for the Buckeye Beard Battle, right? Chief has built this. I haven't seen pictures of it yet, but he's building this thing, and it holds something like I think 75 or 80 beard oils.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have that up for. I don't know how they're going to do it, like raffle or something at the Buckeye Beer, because it's all going to go to charity. So I've already got a box filled with oils that,
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm looking at myself, I'm like, I still got a lot more I need to get rid of. But and when I say get rid of, here's the problem, right? So I've got a lot of stuff that I know that, like, listen, I would rather give it away because I'll never get to it. I'm not, because what do they say? Beard oil has a shelf life of like maybe 2 years.
Yeah,
Right.
I think Chris from Elegant Sasquatch says that he's only a year because of his carrier oil.
Right. Right. So I'm like, I would rather give this stuff away so somebody could use it than it
Hmm.
go rancid, right? Because I'm like,
Yeah,
because to me, it's not about, so 75% of my oils I bought, right?
yeah,
25% were given to me with orders because they wanted me, hey, here's a new one, or hey, you're reviewing, take this.
hmm,
Because one of the big things that myself, Chief, Santa Tom, and Bishop pride ourselves in is that I don't get a hold of any company owners and say, hey, give me free stuff. I buy what I want. And if they stick something in extra, I can't stop them
yeah,
from that, but I'm
yeah,
not like, hey, um, you know, give me free stuff.
yeah.
So, but I've got so much. I mean, I have one company's like, hey, with your order, I'm going to stick in like 4 more beard oils. I'm like, no, please don't. He goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, I am literally running out of room. I
Yeah.
don't have room for all this, you know? So, yeah,
Hmm.
but,
Yeah, I actually I stopped entering giveaways
mhm,
and stuff like that because I wanted to
right,
go to somebody that will use it and stuff. I
right,
am I'm good uh, on what I need, and I
right,
know there's always going to be that next thing
right.
that comes out
You
a drop.
know what? I'll tell you this. Like something that I thought was really cool that Flaming Beard did was so they sent me a box, and they sent me a box of all samples because
Yeah,
I was talking to them one day, and I'm like, yeah, when I'm walking around, or I got guys that come into the gun store that I work at that have beards, I'll give them a sample of something, and they sent me a box of, they're like,
yeah,
give it away. I'm like, so that's cool. So and Stacy did that from Wicked Wednesday. She gave me a bunch of samples to give away. So
hmm,
um, I had some from True North, the sample packet. I've
yeah.
been giving those away. So yeah, I try to give product away to people,
Oh
especially,
yeah,
because I get so many guys I meet, bearded guys, and I hate to sound like this because I was never like this, but when they come in, you look at the beard and you're like, oh, he's not taking care of his beard. And you're like,
yeah,
hey, and like, have you ever heard of beard oil? Like, what's that? And I'm like, hey, try this stuff, because you can tell like they got the beard drift going and stuff.
hmm,
Like, hey man, like beard oil, and then they make special beard wash and this. And I
yeah,
try to like give them a little bit of an education, and I try to set them on the path, but
yeah.
I'm like, man, like that beard's looking rough.
Yeah, I at work, I have probably 4 guys that have a decent sized beard, and I try to give them samples all the time,
Right,
and they won't take it because they don't understand it, and I'm trying to explain it to them,
right,
and they just I'm like, dude, you need to take care of your with the products. Oh, the shampoo I have is good and all this stuff, and I'm like,
right. Oh, right,
I try and try, and they just don't want to listen. Now I have a couple of friends that have beard, and I hand them out the samples, or even if I had a bottle that I liked or whatnot, I'm like, try this or whatever.
right, right.
And
That's
then
mhm,
and then like I got this friend. I think you have him too,
mhm,
Bishop.
yeah,
Uh, he sent me a box full of stuff.
right, right, right,
He goes, I want you to try this. I want you to try that.
right, right. That's one thing I did get lucky about is all the guys I work with now at work. So when I first started doing this, like, what do now the guys that have beards and facial
Yeah,
hair, I'll look at them like, hey man, how you doing on beard oil? Oh, I'm getting kind of short. Okay. How you doing on beard wash? How you doing on this? And I'll come in like every 3 weeks with a bag of stuff. I'm like, here we go. This for you, this for you, this for you, this for you. And I divvy it out. And it's funny because they'll look at me like, well, how much do I owe you? I'm like, no, you don't owe me nothing. Just use it because
yeah,
I got too much. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but
I 100%. You don't want it to go to waste and
right,
and stuff. So yeah, 100% on that. Uh,
right.
somebody out there. I like I said, I wish I could get guys at work. I could
Right.
supply them pretty quick and tell them the good companies to go look at.
Right.
You know,
Right.
um, but anyways, we're an hour and 15 in here. I want to say to everybody, thank you for coming in here. It was a great conversation, Dino. We
Yeah.
went over earlier, I know, but anything else you want to mention, please go ahead.
Sure. Hey, everybody, get behind Baker, support him, hit that smash, that subscribe button, hit the like, support this guy. He's doing awesome things. He's only going to get better every show. You ever
Can't
want
get
me to
any
come back
worse.
on? You ever want me to come back on? Let me know. I love being on the show. You always have an open invitation to come on the Monday Night Mayhem show. But I will leave you with this, my friend. I am the smack talker, the sleigh walker. I am the Michael Jordan of Kringle Jingle, because that's a tactical Santa, and I was number one from day one, and I'm all gas, no brakes, baby.
All right, I gotta do my saying now. Beards don't conceal identity; they create it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Well, Dino, thank